Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, and welcome. It's Nurse Richard, the Wax Wizard. Thanks for joining me. There's 3 ears in this episode, and the first one, they're both quite interesting, so please stay tuned, because there's a story behind both of them. There's a story behind every ear, isn't there? But there's an interesting story behind this one. Now, this lady came to see me, quite a young lady, and the problem she was having was, it looked really impacted, doesn't it? Now, it's not because she's used a cotton bud or she's a hearing aid wearer. She used this because she wears earplugs because her other half is a terrible snorer. I can empathise with this. Sorry, Mrs. Wizard, but I really can empathise with this. But what's done is obviously pushed all this in, and it's wedged it in right against her eardrum and into the recess, and you're going to see a classic example, I feel, of why sometimes irrigation is the best and safest method. Because I looked in that, I did have a go at it with a suction tube, but it's quite a difficult spot to get into, and again, you'll never see me bending a tube. That's not something I agree with. But sometimes you have to work out what's safer to do, and to get this in, you'll see I'll explain exactly why I did it in a minute. I was hoping that it might lift up from there and pull it out the recess. It didn't quite, so I'm having a look at it again, and the problem is when I put the tube next to it, my vision is then completely obstructed, so I can't actually see the wax and the end of the tube at the same time, which is why I've opted for the irrigation. And you will just see how quickly it worked and how well it worked. So that's the little probe that you see there with the irrigator. It's a slightly different angle. I've turned it round. And a couple of squirts, and just watch what happens. Look at that. Just flew straight out. Only needed one quick squirt. And then it's a much safer way, in my opinion, to get something like that out of the recess, because there was a lot more of it there than I originally thought. I suspected there would be a bit. Didn't expect there to be this much. And so I'm going to finish off by pulling it out with the suction. Now it's brought it out from the recess, and it was at that point the hearing was completely restored. Very grateful, very thankful, and job's a good one. See you later. And I did give her some advice on sleep plugs going forward, actually, because the ones that she'd been using, not ones that I would recommend. They're like a little silicone putty thing, so they don't actually have a handle on it. And I have pulled some of them out of people's ears in the past. So I definitely would not advise them. Because when you're pushing something in your ear, unless you've got, which I wouldn't advise anyway, but at least make sure at least make sure it's got a handle on it so you can pull it out. Otherwise, you've got nothing to grip onto for it to get out. And as you can see all the eardrum there. A little bit soggy, a bit messy around the edges, but hearing's restored. Always the main thing with any procedure. What do I recommend is you can get sleep active noise cancelling sleep ear pods type thing. There's lots of different brands available that can sell them, that have noise cancellation, that you can pop these little ear pods in your ear, and as well as providing a physical barrier, there's some very clever and fancy electronics that actually block the sound. I don't know how it works, but have a search it up. That's what I would advise if you're struggling. Either that or a pillow over the face. I'm joking. Please don't do that. Right. Story behind this second ear was this lady, never been seen before. She never had her ears cleaned out, but she was prescribed hearing aids about 18 months ago. I suspect may well have been building up before then. And now I did ask her. I said, when they were doing your hearing test and actually prescribing your hearing aids, did any of them at any point look inside your ear? And she quite very clearly remembered it was a no. And which is, well, it's scandalous. Let's be honest. There's no two ways about it. I know I was listening to Reese was telling us a story that the other day about something very similar. It does happen all too much. It's just greed, to be honest, and it's scandalous that people would try to do that, would sell you a hearing aid when you possibly don't need one. Because after I took this out, she said, I'm hearing so much better. and she didn't have any hearing aids with her. I said, if someone said to you now, do you feel like your hearing's poor enough that you would go for a test or consider yourself nearing hearing aids? She said, absolutely not. So she wouldn't have even gone for a test, to be honest. So I suggested she maybe return to them and have a word. Anyway, before I forget, subscriber of the day is Denise Atkins. A big thank you to you for your comment, Denise. And that one, excuse me, that one stuck out to me because you said, by gum, I'd love to be a subscriber of the day. So I know you're probably a fellow northerner, because that's a greeting in local dialect. So I don't know where you're watching from, Denise, but thanks. And if you want to be a subscriber of the day, you know what you've got to do. You've got to press one of them buttons, wherever it is, up there, down there, up there, over there, I don't know where it is, that just says subscribe. It's on YouTube, or if you're watching on Facebook, click follow. If you're watching on TikTok, please do the same. And on all platforms, I'll look across all the comments on all the platforms. And so you've got a chance of being subscriber of the day on any of the platforms. Anyway, so as you can see, we can see part of the eardrum now. It's a little bit mushy and a little bit of a faff to get this out. But spoiler alert, we did in the end. A couple of other things to tell you about. I went a couple of weeks ago, but I've not told you about it since I went. I might have told you I was going, but I had tickets to see Peter Kay, very famous comedian here in the UK. Absolutely hilarious. And he's not been doing any shows for a long time, so I went to see him. We got tickets 3 years ago because he took a bit of time out. And so we went a couple of weeks ago. Really enjoyed it. I wouldn't say it was side-splittingly hilarious, which I can't believe I'm saying because I love Peter. It was more nostalgic than it was side-splitting hilarious. Maybe my humour's changed and his hasn't. I don't know. But we enjoyed it. It was a good night out. But following that, we decided we'll go and see a few more as well, because the best advice I ever got about if you've got, and I'm not saying I've got bucket loads of it, if you've got any spare money, don't hide it away. Invest in memories is what I was always told and brought up to do. So we've decided to buy a load more tickets for a load more things. So, and I can't believe we got tickets to see these. I got tickets to see Jimmy Carr. If you've not seen Jimmy Carr before, it's very different than Peter Kay. I think it's quite dark, but absolutely hilarious. I think that's more my wife's humour. He's got quite a dark sense of humour too. He's quite close to the bone, but I still think he's funny. Some people find him offensive, but I think he's hilarious. And so I got them. And on the same day, my wife was searching around for some, and she got us tickets to see Ricky Gervais in a really tiny theatre, only seating a couple. It's not like a huge show. It must be a warm-up show. And I can't believe she got them, because it was on the day that these things were released. And Ricky, I think he's hilarious. And again, another one who's, what can we say, close to the edge, can be viewed as being quite offensive. I don't think he's offensive. I think it depends how if you get offended to something that's more to do with you than it is the joke itself. I know that's what he says, but I can't wait to go and see him anyway. I will share with you how that went. It's not for a few months yet anyway, but can't believe we managed to get tickets to see him. And I've also bought some for me. Whose birthday was it? My dad? No. Yeah, it was my dad's birthday a couple of weeks ago. And I did intend to buy him some Jimmy Carr tickets because I saw they were available. And then I spoke to my wife about it. She said, no, absolutely not. Your mother would be horrified. I don't think he's probably a bit too close to the bone for mum. So I got her tickets to see Tim Minchin. Oh, I love to, and I found out since I bought them that they're both big fans of his. And if you've never seen him as well, I strongly advise going and checking him out. It's like a musical comedy. He's absolutely brilliant. And so they're very much looking forward to that. So yeah, if you've been to any shows, seen any comedians, theatre shows, let me know. I'm after recommendations. So I would hugely appreciate any of them, because like I said, it's best to invest in memories, to buy things, physical things, buy things that you remember instead. Anyway, Spotless here at the end of that one, and hopefully going to have a word with the people who give her the hearing aid that she probably didn't need. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. But for now, take care of yourself, and I'll see you soon. Ta-da.